Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks. Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
M Suits Clothiers, Lincoln's favorite men's store. Family owned and operated, located 1 block south of 56th and Pine Lake Road. Go bold this summer and fall with endless possibilities. Stop in now for the best selection on sweaters, outerwear, suits, sport coats, dress pants, and dress shirts. M Suits Clothiers, your menswear store. MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
You're listening to Bock the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley.
Defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror, number 43.
and Jake Bockoven. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
Welcome to Bock The Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. I am the Blackshirt, Terrell Farley, and I'm with Jake Bockoven, one of the best producers here at The Ticket. 9 days left, Bock. 9 days.
That's right. We're getting closer and closer here. And, of course, we can definitely feel we've been doing the countdown. And we get to the single-digit numbers. We're finally there. Of course, that's a big honor for Nebraska football. Much of what we talked about over the last couple of weeks. And now we are to the single-digit days getting to Nebraska football. Man, it's a great time to be alive. Great time of the year.
Man, 9 days left. 4 days for week 0.
That's
kickoff.
right, yeah.
Couple of games slated to play that Saturday. Then next week, the main week, we start off on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then another weekend all over again. College football is back, and it's to my pleasure to announce the best Husker of all time at number 9. Didn't know it was so many guys who wore number 9, Bob, but it's a lot of guys.
Oh, yeah. That's like we said, the single-digit numbers are there for a reason. People, they're sought after, of course. A lot of times, skill position players getting them. Of course, this last year we saw Ty Robinson jump into it. So not always skill position players, but I wouldn't say it's quite the historic number as maybe some of the other ones that we've thrown out. DP and I kind of did a segment. The 7 certainly has certain names that you think. The 15 has some certain names that you think. I think 9 does have some certain names you think, depending on your era of watching Nebraska football. I'll give the floor to you to give your favorite or best number 9.
Well, I do a list, Box, so I'm just going to go with my list.
Okay.
And I'm going to start from the bottom up.
Yeah.
Vincent Shavers changed to number 9. Was number 1. Where's number? What was
I
he
think
last
it was
year?
Number 10 before that. Yeah, he's already got 3 numbers a year and get some change in.
So he was 1, 9, 10. Now he's 9. But Vincent Shavers, he's the new number 9. We'll see if he can pass our top guy who's number 9, because he still has 3 more years left. So that's a great thing for him to shine in the new number. Like we said, Ty Robinson last year, defensive end, probably one of the biggest guys that was on that team. Him and Nash combined to make a great DN combo. He's in. I forgot who he's with in the NFL. Who is he with? The Giants?
The Eagles.
The Eagles.
Yeah.
The Eagles. So where's Nash?
Nash didn't get drafted, so let's know that off the top of my head, but I can look at it.
Yeah, but Ty Robinson, he had a sack the other last week. I didn't watch him this week, but he's got a great chance to do big things up there in Philly.
Nash is with the Bucks, by the way.
All right, the Bucks.
Throw that out there.
All right, Bob. From 95 to 98, this quarterback was a fan favorite.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of fan favorites at quarterback from those years.
Huh?
So there were a few fan favorites at quarterback from those years. Of course, Tommy Frazier, Scott Frost, to get into.
Well, he's number 9,
talking
though,
about
Bob.
another guy.
Yeah, Monte Cristo.
Monte Cristo, one of the best names in Nebraska football history, certainly.
All right, this guy played 93 to 95, free safety, 2-time national champion, team captain of that era when we played, Tony Veland.
That's right. Did he play with you? Did you say that 95?
Yeah, I played with Tony.
Okay, yeah.
2-time national champion, 94, 95.
Yeah. His final year was 95.
Started off as a quarterback from Omaha, Benson. Then he made the switch from free safety, became one of the dangerous. Let me tell you a story about Tony. We was playing Colorado, Buck. And, as a defensive, me, as a linebacker, I'm always around to play. So this time I'm around to play, and somehow I slipped and I didn't make the tackle. Mm. But Tony Veland hit me so hard, Buck, I had to come out the game. He like to dislocated my shoulder, Buck. I was trying to tackle Ray Caruth, and somehow I slipped and I was moving. And Tony Veal came in with a kill shot, and I swear, Buck, that's the hardest I ever been hit by my own team.
Oh, yeah.
And I tell him about this all the time. You tried to take me out. You tried to take me out. But Tony Veland was a murdering nightmare back there, Bock, who would knock your socks off if he got a chance.
A missile.
A missile. I'm talking about Bock. First time I ever told to come get me out of the game. I came out, Bock, and I had to miss a couple of plays because it was hurting Bock real bad.
Yeah.
My shoulder felt like he just tried to unload on me, and I was what they call an innocent bystander, Bock. That's what I was.
Right.
That's what I was.
Only missed a few plays, though, out of it. That's
only a few plays. I was right back out there a couple plays. All right, this guy right here plays safety from 80 to 83, Bock. Russell Gary.
Okay, yeah.
One of Ricky Deer's friends. I met him a couple of times. Nice guy. This guy right here, 1985 to 1988. All-American quarterback, all-conference, all-Big 8 quarterback, Husker Hall of Famer, Stephen Taylor.
Oh, yeah, I know a little bit about that guy.
Stephen Taylor, great quarterback from California out that way. Multiple athlete. Could play baseball. Won a Grey Cup up there in Canada with I think it was Calgary that he played for. Great guy overall. Yeah, Steve Taylor. All right, Bock, these two guys right here are the best, they say, in the business at number 9. I'm going to read this first one off. Ed Weir.
Oh, yeah.
Offensive defensive tackle who wore number 9 back in I'm trying to see, Bock, look it up, 19-something, Bock. I missed that. I forgot that part. I think it was early 1900.
So 1923 to 1925.
1923, 1925, two-time All-American, college football Hall of Famer. His name is dedicated to the Husker Outdoor Track and Field Box Stadium in 1974.
Yeah, and he's known for the Nebraska team in 1923 was one of the few, and maybe the only, I can't remember how the story of history goes. Somebody could probably help me out with that, but they beat the Four Horsemen at Notre Dame. Ed Weir and his teammates were able to do that. So, yeah, shout out to him.
All right, Bock, this one right here, he's a fan favorite. Good fan. I'm a fan of his, too. Stanley Morgan Jr.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Nebraska all-time leader in reception yards and receptions. Caught a pass in 38 straight games. Man, Stanley was an athlete. He played I think he was with Tommy Armstrong, wasn't he? And Adrian Martinez.
Yeah, but didn't he wear, I think you're a day ahead, didn't he wear number 8?
Oh, did he wear number 9 once?
Maybe it's somewhere. Every picture I'm looking at popped him up at number 8.
Well,
I'll bring him up tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know why they said the number 9. I don't know why they said number 9. That's what they said, but I don't know. But I could go with it's a typo probably. But Ed Ware, Steve Taylor, a lot of guys, Tony Veland, Monty Kristoff, Ty Robinson, now Vincent Shavers, Russell Gary, Bock. Great football players right here.
Yeah, I've got a few more to add to the list. Jason Ankra, a defensive end. I think many would remember in the Bo Pelini era. And then maybe one of my favorite number 9s, Wilson Thomas, from of course the wide receiver from the option days with Eric Crouch. Probably the biggest target for that 2001 team as far as wide receivers go. Kind of teamed up over those years. 2001. By then, Matt Davison was gone, but made a good, formidable wide receiver group with him. Tracy Wistrom obviously was I think the biggest target on that 2001 team. But Wilson Thomas always the guy. I wonder what his stats would look like if he didn't play in the option offense. A lengthy wide receiver, go up and get it. He was a lot of fun. And then the one that people might not want me to mention, but he still played for Nebraska, was Sam Keller. Sam Keller, of course, not the most beloved former Husker, as we talk about Steve Taylor and some of those other guys that might fit into that description a little bit more. Obviously did not have the success that he wanted to, coming over from Arizona State, replaced by Joe Gans halfway through his senior season. But as we all know, maybe more importantly, was kind of went after the name, image, and likeness thing early, kind of like along with Ed O'Bannon and some of those guys. And maybe is partially the reason we are in one way or the other with some dominoes falling along the lines where we are here today. But for the longest time, people criticized Sam Keller for taking away their video game, which is now, of course, back.
Yeah, he's probably one of the few who got paid also. Thanks, Sam Keller and Ed O'Bannon.
And Sam Keller loved himself some Sam Keller. I don't know how he does anymore, but I remember that was the one time I saw
We should have him on to ask him how do he feel.
Yeah, we should. It'd be a fascinating interview. We'd have a lot of people tuning in for that. If anybody's got Sam's number, I'd be interested because he had like party photos over from Arizona State that leaked when he got to Nebraska. I thought that was kind of funny, but I was just remember following him He'd be easy to spot because on his license plate, I think it said S. Keller. So it's like pretty obvious. Hey, I'm the quarterback in Nebraska. Watch me drive.
All right, Bach. In college football news, this story just it makes me laugh every time I look at it. Auburn. Have you seen what Auburn is trying to do, Bach?
Auburn is in the headlines for a lot of different things over the last couple of days. What's the latest?
Auburn announces that they are going to claim 7 more national titles, Bach.
That's a lot to claim at once.
The school has 2 real national titles, Bach. 1951 and 2010, both nationally recognized, but are now staking their claim to 7 more. The 1910 6-1 title belonged to 9-0 Pitt. 1913 title they was 8-0. Title belongs to 9-0 Harvard. 1914 Bach, they was 8-0-1. Title belongs to Army. 1957 Bach, they finished 10-0, finished number 1 in the AP poll, real title. So they got that one. 1957. Yeah. All right, 1958 Bach, they was 9-0 and tied 1. Titles belong to LSU, 11-0. I don't know how can you fight some of these. 1983 Bach, 11-1, ranked number 3. Who won it? 11-1. Miami finished number 1. Miami won it. Michael Irvin them right there, wasn't it, Bach, in 1983?
I don't know if Irvin was on the team.
Yeah, but that was a good team. All right, Bach, 1993. They was banned. 11-0. Banned from the postseason. Think recruiting violation.
Well, if you're banned for the postseason, I can go back and say you won a national championship.
Yeah, 2004, Bach, 13-0. Title belongs to 13-0, number 1 USC.
Now that one, I mean that was one of the best arguments for a extended playoff. I always felt bad for that 2014. Remember Jason Campbell? I believe that was the Cadillac Williams, Ronnie Brown teams as well. And just obviously if you can imagine, which is just blows my mind to go into the BCS era and take a peek, but the SEC undefeated champions were left out of the BCS national championship game. Would never happen today.
All right, Bach. 2010, they won the BCS international title, real title. Now they got 2 out of these, Bach. They're trying to claim the 10-0 from the 11-0 from 93. Who won in 93? Florida State.
Florida State.
You would have had a chance to play that, but you didn't. So don't worry about that because Nebraska played in that bowl game. We don't see you beating who was it? Was it Alabama or Florida State?
93, yeah. But Florida State was interesting because Florida State had 1 loss. Notre Dame had 1 loss. They went with Florida State to play that game. Nebraska, obviously, didn't have a loss until they lost that game. So that would have been a good year for a playoff, too. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. I don't know, Bach, a lot of stuff going on. Now, Bach, my thing I wanted to talk to you about is, Bach, you're a Croc man, aren't you?
I have a pair of Crocs that I've got while I was over in Asia because it was very hot over there. And I'm not a big sandals guy. I don't necessarily like my feet to be showing. I just not a big fan of feet in general, but I feel vulnerable with my feet showing. So I decided no sandals. I mean, you still wear socks, and Crocs are going to help my feet breathe. And I've been wearing them all summer. And Terrell's been making fun of me the whole time. And then a couple of days ago, I was doing a show here with a couple of teenagers came and said, "That's a fashion faux pas. That's some bad shoes you got on there." So I've been hearing about it. But I'll tell you what, my Crocs are not necessarily to show off. They're more for comfort. That's
more for comfort. But now here's the thing: why I don't like men who wear Crocs or what's those shoes that Nick wear, the Birkenstock.
Birkenstock.
Yeah, those shoes right there. Those are shoes that can get you hurt, Bach. And when I said hurt, Bach, I am what you call TTG, Bach. It's called train to go.
Okay.
Now, if we was in the woods, Bach, and something happened and you had on your Crocs, guess what? You're probably going to get eaten up 9 times out of 10, Bach, who's ever chasing us. Bach, Crocs are not shoes you can get out and run in, you know?
Not very well,
They're not. They're not. You have a strap on them, but 9 times out of 10, if you had to run through a fire, Bach, to make it out of a building, your Crocs will melt in the middle of the running.
Well, that strap lets you know when it's serious. That's when I get to running.
So I say that, Bach, because I don't believe in, because I'm one. It's like watching a scary movie, Bach. You know, you don't know what's around that corner, Bach. And I'm always, you know, the way this society is today, Bach, and the way this world is, you always have to be almost in a running head start in life, you know, period, Bach, because you never know when something goes on, Bach.
Well, it's funny because my friend, it kind of reminds me of my friend. He was having road rage when I was driving with him, and he was like so mad. He was going to get out and fight the people, but he had sandals on, and so like no matter how mad he was, I couldn't help but think to myself like, are you going to fight in sandals? Like, there's no way. That's how you know I'm not a fighter. I'd be like, I think my feet would get hurt if I fought.
It's like me and you, Bach. We run around the corner, Bach, and we just see a bad fight, and everybody's running at us, Bach, trying to escape. You know what, Bach? I'm not gonna have on Crocs. I'm gonna be able to turn around, and I'm gonna be able to run. But Bach, let me just say this: the NFL and Crocs have collaborated to make Crocs for NFL teams with your Arizona Cardinals on it. You can get you a pair with
cool.
Arizona. Bach.
Yeah, maybe that's what I need to do. Do they have all teams? I was just like looking at stuff. Yeah.
They started off with the first 18 teams, and then they'll have the rest of them. So, you know what I'm saying? They'll start off with 18, Bach, and then they will go to the rest.
See, and I don't know. I'm not completely. Like I said, I wear these for comfort. I just bought them for that reason. I'm not into too much of the Croc culture. I know you can put like little pins on. I don't even know what those are called. One of the younger folks might be able to help us out there on the text line 402-464-5685. But when I'm looking at it too, that's what I see. All these little kind of pins on the Crocs, and of course the logo on there. So yeah, you can be comfortable and still somewhat fashionable, I think, with your Crocs and your NFL team. Show off some team support.
Yeah, Bach, they're going to have 14 teams. They didn't name the teams yet before expanding to all 32 teams throughout the long-term calibration. I don't know. Among the first round of teams set to be featured, Bach, are the Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles, Buffalo Bills, and Detroit Lions. Founded in 2002 in Bloomfield, Colorado. It'll be Colorado, someone who makes something up like that, where it's 10 below in the wintertime, 20 below, but everybody's wearing Crocs.
We do have some. We did get some help there. So I guess they're called giblets or charms. What you put on there? Yeah, I call them little pins. I don't know. I tried to put some on mine just because they were handed to us. I think from Raising Cane's, and apparently they don't work with mine. I don't think I even have like. I think I bought some knockoff Crocs. Is what happened, but it's all right. Again, I didn't buy them for to show them off, just for comfort. So yeah, I mean, they're gaining in popularity there. I know you don't like Crocs in general, but now that you can support your NFL team, would you consider them?
No, I would wear. I would go to Dudes, and Dudes will have the same kind of shoes with Nebraska logos on it.
Oh yeah,
and Dudes have football logos on it. I would not ever wear some Jesus sandals, Birkenstock, or that's what I call a Birkenstock, Jesus sandals, and the speed mode of the Crocs.
Old Dad 34 off the Texan says, I got your back, Buck, with the Crocs. They are very comfortable. So, yes, we do it for comfort. Bill and Bennett says, Step-in Skechers are the best shoes for us old guys. Yeah, anything you don't have to tie, I think, is what we're kind of looking for here. Cigar Guy says, I live in my Birkenstocks. Absolutely hate wearing real shoes. So, yeah, we got some people who put comfort first here. 6696 says, Birkenstocks are amazing when you're just hanging out around the house outside.
Yeah. But wearing them places, nah.
Out in public,
nah.
Yeah, maybe not.
No. Well, I love the Dudes. Have you got a pair of the Dudes?
No, I'm gonna look those up. So what are the Dudes? What do they differentiate from?
Dudes are like Ice Cube house shoes. You remember the house shoes Ice Cube used to wear? But they turned them into some more what you call. They call Hey Dudes.
Oh, Hey Dudes. Okay, I'm gonna look these up.
Huh?
So they are just they don't have ties on them. You can just slide them in.
Just slide them in. Yeah. No ties, no anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So yeah, I can see those. Those look those look comfortable enough. I've had again probably knockoff versions. I don't know if I bought Hey Dudes.
Yeah, look at this. I wear my dress shoes to work, but as soon as I get to my desk, I put on my Crocs. There's a word for Crocs that I'm just gonna leave it alone, Bob. But yeah, that's me. AD looks like he wears a pair of Birkenstocks. He does.
He says I'm down for some comfort shoes, bros. So he's yeah.
I don't like flip flops. I don't like sandals. I like house shoes and tennis shoes. That's it, Bob.
Yeah. Well, even with my tennis shoes, I was glad to see other people do this because I thought it was just me. I used to just like step on them and the back would cave in because I was so lazy to still go down and tie them. I mean, mostly because I'm just, you just kind of sliding them in and going out. But you got so comfortable doing that I would start to go out like that. And I was worried about it. But then I saw other men doing it as well. And I thought, yeah, these are my type of people. And so now there's been a whole group of different, we've gone through 3 different brand names here, a whole shoes dedicated to those of us that just don't want to tie our shoes.
Somebody says, Farley talking about dudes being hey dudes because they're owned by Crocs. Hey, I'd rather wear those than Crocs. And somebody said,
well, you got to cough there a little bit.
Recommend a sock insert for hey dudes. Yeah. Excuse me. I recommend socks for any shoes. I wear socks with every shoes.
I don't know if I've seen you in sandals. Would you wear sandals? Open-toed sandals?
No, I am not that uncle on the grill. I am not my father, Bock. So you would never catch me with some sandals on barefooted. My feet are not even pretty enough to wear sandals. So I'm much of a keep my socks on 24-hour type of guy.
Yeah, I do too. My wife doesn't even like it. She tells me to let the dogs breathe, but when I do, then that's when then she complains that it doesn't smell good around the house. Like, well, yeah, it's because I took my socks off.
Yeah. Yeah, they make Nebraska hey dudes now. So they do got a pair with Nebraska. Okay. Yeah, I want a pair with the black shirts on it. 0658 said, Farley, tell me you're insecure about your feet without telling me. Yeah, I don't walk around here barefoot. Yeah, I wear shower shoes in the shower. So, I'm not a feet guy. That's something that, I gave my bad feet to my granddaughter, so she's going to have to beat some babies up later on in life when they talk about my grandchild feet. So
we did have a text too about Ed Weir that I wanted to get to because it kind of broke down the history. I was trying to remember there. This was a text here from 1968 on the Starter Heyman text line said, about Ed Weir, my name is John. I'm trying to help Bock out. The Huskers in 23-25 were the only team to beat the Four Horsemen. They did it 2 years in a row. Ed Weir was why. The famous Notre Dame coach complimented him greatly, but then Notre Dame refused to play Nebraska until Crouch beat them in 1999. Yeah, that's what I was trying to remember if anybody else had beaten the Four Horsemen. I think Nebraska and Ed Weir and those guys were notorious. I don't want to say notorious or famous, whatever way you want to put it, for being able to take them down.
Yeah, somebody said, did the black shirt train barefooted growing up? Yeah. That's why my feet are right, because I used to walk on the railroad tracks barefooted when I was in the country and run barefooted. I was a barefooted child. I was very I was probably one of the fastest kids barefooted.
When did you transition to socks only? Now that
when I started playing football.
Yeah.
Probably 10th, probably elementary. I know I had ugly feet when I was growing up. Yeah, I said I got my daddy feet. So yeah.
Is that what it is? You're worried about people pointing to your feet?
Nah, I probably beat them up for talking about my feet, Bock. I'm very insecure about that, Bock. I don't want to come back to break and you're laying on the ground, Bock.
Oh, okay.
So leave me alone, Bock.
Just go to break.
Yeah, leave my feet alone. That's not a conversation. Okay. Let's talk about football, Nebraska football. Yeah. When we come back, we're going to talk a little recruiting Nebraska football here at 93.7 The Ticket. Bock the Blackshirt here from your 1 to 3 hour.
Keep summer green with Judson Bylene and Judson Irrigation. More than 40 years ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install them and forget them outfit, long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
At Schwezo Construction, safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Build with us. Work safe, go home proud. We're hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back, on and off the job site. If you're ready to be part of a company where your safety and success come first, visit Schwezo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com and apply today. Schwezo Construction, 40 years strong and still building the future.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, patchy fog possible this morning. Otherwise, we'll see mainly sunny skies and light winds, high near 91. Tonight, mainly clear skies with a low around 70. And tomorrow, patchy fog again in the morning, a slight chance of rain in the afternoon. Otherwise, mainly sunny skies with a high near 89. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
No cravings, no hunger pains, no struggle. Thanks to GLP-1s from Limitless Mail, weight loss is possible. Picture this. Your clothes fit better, your energy's up, your doctor's impressed, and your friends start noticing. Limitless Mail's GLP-1 program is medically monitored and changing men's lives. There's no better time than now to get on board. Lose the weight, better your health, gain your confidence without being hungry. Free consult at limitlessmail.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
M-Suits Clothiers, Lincoln's favorite men's store. Family owned and operated, located 1 block south of 56th and Pine Lake Road. Go bold this summer and fall with endless possibilities. Stop in now for the best selection on sweaters, outerwear, suits, sport coats, dress pants, and dress shirts. M-Suits Clothiers, your menswear store.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
You're listening to Bock in the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Bock in the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We have some special guests in the studio today. Link to Literacy 3rd Annual Woodstock will be going on this weekend, August 23rd, 2005, from 10 to 1 at Antelope Park. Welcome in, Miss Cat. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Special time of the year for y'all as y'all get ready for your event this weekend. We're here to help y'all. We always been here to help Link the Literacy, one of the great organizations that we try to be involved in, and had players come read out loud to some of the kids. But tell us about your special weekend that's going on at the book swap.
Yeah, so this is our third annual Word Stock event, and we are going to have so many amazing books there for all ages. We're talking baby and toddlers to young adult and adult books, nonfiction, fiction. They're all free to the public. We've been collecting these books for the past 6 weeks with some community partners, and then they're all going to be available here for free at Antelope Park in the small enclosed shelter by the park.
Yeah. Bob?
Yeah, that'll be exciting. I was able to go to Wordstock last year, so I'm glad to see it make its way back. A lot of fun for my kid. At the time was 3. He's 4 now, so definitely looking forward to it again. Of course, I think the thing you need to know first and foremost is that it's free. There's no charge, so you can come in and pick out some books. And of course, who knows what a book can do, what the right book can do in a young child's hands. So as we look forward to that, what are some of the other things that are going to be going on at Wordstock?
Well, we will be having the carnival games again, so you can try your hand at the different carnival games and get some cool prizes. We have food trucks. Oh man, we have some good food trucks this year. We've everything from brownies to pastries for the morning time, and then for lunch we've got a deeply rooted. We've got a Filipino one and muchachos.
Ooh,
and the muchachos, the new muchachos coffee truck as well. So we're really excited about that.
Books for all ages.
Yes.
Me, myself, I'm a James Patterson type of guy. I love James Patterson. I love the I forgot which one he does with the cop. They made a movie about it. Time to Kill.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, James Patterson. He makes those. Alex Cross. I'm a really big fan of the Alex Cross books. I think I read all of them.
Oh, I'm sure you'll be able to find a few.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite authors right there.
Well, cool. One thing we've been brainstorming how to add to this event, because we have the community booths as well and our sponsors, so you can really learn about everything going on in Lincoln. And I thought it would be fun to have like sticky notes with a pen. So when you're going around, maybe you see a book that you love, you could write a little note on it for somebody else to pick up, say what you like about it.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, we'll see.
And of course, again, we're talking about Wordstock. When, date and time and where. Of course, we need to keep bringing that up as we go on through this interview.
Yeah, this Saturday at the Antelope Park enclosed shelter over by the playground, and it's from 10 to 1.
10 to 1. Very cool. And then one thing that I think is obviously Wordstock, a little bit of a play on words. My son, again, going back to that, he's learning who Woodstock is, along with Snoopy and those folks. So Wordstock, do you know where that derived from?
Well, yeah, really, we just wanted it to be kind of a groovy time. So we were more talking about, the Woodstock Festival, gathering people around and having a time of love and peace, and we're adding books into the mix.
And so Wordstock is, again, the event that we're all looking kind of forward to, and again, free. Go out there, swap books, bring books that maybe you picked up last year. There's no problem in exchanging them year in and year out. But as we kind of again look forward to it, I guess what has been your experience so far through Wordstock? We're at the first 2.
Yeah, well, so it came about because in Lincoln, it's hard to find places to donate books. You've got the little free libraries, but you have to make the time to go and do that and search those out. The library itself takes some used books for their foundation sales, and but the Goodwills and the different places don't really take them very often. And so we built this to fulfill a need in our community to really be able to exchange books and to have somewhere to take these books. So we have noticed throughout the years, as our third one, people really appreciate that, and they really take them. And we get some really great books. We get some really beautiful treasures that other people then come and are so excited to get, and to kind of fish through all of the boxes, and it's like a little treasure hunt. And to see people's joy when they find a book that they really love, it's pretty cool.
It is. It's awesome. I've been to. It's kind of funny because I've been, at parks, and sometimes events like this are hosted, and then I remember a couple like coming walking up to me and being like, asking me, "Is this so this is what, because they're from Chicago. It's like, this is just kind of what happens here in Lincoln. It's like, well, yeah, sometimes this is, but of course, Wordstock, again, maybe the primary or one of the primary focuses or events for Link to Literacy. For those that don't know a whole lot about Link to Literacy, what is the kind of the parent group behind Wordstock here?
Yeah, sure. So Link to Literacy inspires generations through inclusive books and literacy education through our community partnerships. So we really partner with a lot of the different community organizations around town, help identify what their literacy needs that aren't being met elsewhere, and fulfill those needs with very specific curated materials and education for caregivers and parents on how to include reading in as a habit in their home, and give them some basic reading strategies to really make that a priority.
Yeah, absolutely. And then again, going back to the range of books that will be there, are adults allowed to come in and kind of swap some books as well? Do you see some not just for the children?
Yes, 100%. We have a bajillion adult books that are being donated. So you don't have to have a child to come. You can come.
Superstar readers this year. Who are going to be some of your guests reading out to the kids?
Well, we have, so some of our sponsors were able to come and read. So we have the CEO of Brian Health coming. We have some people from Nebraska Athletics, I believe. We have some local authors, and it's all still getting a little bit hashed out. So I can't, some of them are going to be surprises.
There you go.
Maybe we can get Dylan Riola to come read the little engine who could.
I would love that.
Well, and then for those that are kind of thinking too, if you're coming in one or two books, it's not necessarily limited, right? There's an idea, maybe you can bring a whole bag and you can fill your bag up.
Absolutely. We'll even supply the bag for you.
There you go.
Yeah. As long as they get here in time. We'll be giving out bags. They're big and yellow, and you can fill them. And you can have another one if you want. And fill that one too.
Wow. There you go. Yes, a lot of stuff. And again, stuff like this is important to me because I always think, sometimes the right book in a kid's hand can really dictate, where their interests are, where they kind of maybe can set their path out in life. So it can really be a big difference. Again, Kat Ousey of Link to Literature in here to talk about Wordstock one final time. When, where, and I don't want to say why. How about when and where? Because we know why. We've been explaining that.
Yes. So when and where is Antelope Park this Saturday, the 23rd. From 10 to 1 a.m. You'll see signs kind of directing you where to go. And it's called Wordstock, and it's a celebration of community and books and really getting to know your neighbors.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. And walk-ins welcome as well, I'm assuming.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you don't have to book this. Again, it's a free event. So I would encourage everybody to go out again to Antelope Park for Wordstock here. Coming up around the corner this Saturday. So thanks again to Kat for jumping in studio with us.
Thank you so much.
All right, there we go. I'll throw it to you over there, Terrell.
No, I throw it to you, Bob.
Oh, I thought you were going to throw it.
No,
okay.
I'll throw it back to you.
Okay, well, now I got it. Okay, I'll go ahead with it. This is Bock The Blackshirt. We'll be back with more on 93.7 The Ticket.
No cravings, no hunger pains, no struggle. Thanks to GLP-1s from Limitless Mail, weight loss is possible. Picture this. Your clothes fit better, your energy's up, your doctor's impressed, and your friends start noticing. Limitless Mail's GLP-1 program is medically monitored and changing men's lives. There's no better time than now to get on board. Lose the weight, better your health, gain your confidence without being hungry. Free consult at limitlessmail.com.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, patchy fog possible this morning. Otherwise, we'll see mainly sunny skies and light winds. High near 91. Tonight, mainly clear skies with a low around 70. And tomorrow, patchy fog again in the morning. A slight chance of rain in the afternoon. Otherwise, mainly sunny skies with a high near 89. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Schwezo Construction, safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Build with us. Work safe, go home proud. We're hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back, on and off the job site. If you're ready to be part of a company where your safety and success come first, visit Schwezo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com and apply today. Schwezo Construction, 40 years strong and still building the future.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning. Now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. With the school year here, A1 Automotive reminds you that college students get 10% off any service, and they offer free tire repair with a valid college ID. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive or downtown at 11th and L.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska Insider today.
If the power is out, keep your fridge and freezer closed. Perishable food lasts 4 hours in the fridge, and frozen food lasts up to 2 days if it stays below 40 degrees. See more tips at les.com/safety.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Bock and the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We are powered
by
Bauer
Infrastructure,
Bauer
Underground,
Brad
Excavating.
Shout out to the Bauer crew out there working hard today. Bock, over the weekend we did secure another in-state recruit in Torrey Pittman III. 5-star in some of the recruits, 4-star in some of the other services. But this was a big pickup for Nebraska, especially as the in-state recruit in the class of 2027, safety, 6 foot, 185.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting too. You know, you hear about, maybe why you would pick Nebraska. You say that's just home. It's just home for him. So obviously the coaching staff has a lot to do with that as well, and in the direction of the program. So you feel good about this. Obviously, all of this with the background of this upcoming year, Nebraska's recruiting class. much talked about for a variety of reasons. They've only got 12 guys included in it, so it's hurting kind of the team rankings. So I think they're 24/7, at least last check. Yesterday had them at 72nd. You never want to see Nebraska necessarily there. But again, it's one of those waiting games here in modern day college football. It's not all about the freshman class you're bringing in. So what Nebraska does in the transfer portal when they know the kind of more the numbers that they're going to have for building next year's team and who they're going to go after there, of course, will be a big factor in there. And we'll see what they can do. Maybe add a few more guys to the 2026 class and move up in some of those rankings. But all that being said, Pittman in specifically is just a type of player that doesn't come along often, at least for Nebraska, as far as how highly valued he is as a 5-star prospect. I always say we always kind of throw out 5 stars out there a little bit too much, like all these teams are able to get them. They're tough. There's only about 25 or 30 of them every year. And again, Ohio State's, the Alabamas, some of the major schools, the Clemsons, the Georgias take about 80% of those. And so, it's kind of slim pickings for a lot of the other programs. So this would be huge. Obviously, Trey Taylor in that class of 2027. So that's off to a fantastic start.
Hey, ranked number 7.
Yeah, long time to go, but I think with just 2 guys in it, that's a pretty good start.
Yeah, I mean, you can build on that. Not really an urgency right now to worry about 27 because we still have to worry about the 25 football season instead of I'm not saying put recruiting off, but this, with Nebraska in this season and the urge to win would probably help this team better off in the long run instead of the short run when we talk about recruiting wise, because when we talk about recruiting from the in-state part, this is a big get for Nebraska. And it also brings up a lot of talk, like over the weekend, I seen a post about former Husker player Jamel Williams' son Bryson talked about how Nebraska stiffed him and didn't recruit him and didn't do stuff like this. And Matt Rule just said, so just come to camp. So it's different recruiting techniques when you talk about recruiting kids from the in-state versus out-of-state.
Yeah, it's interesting. He's got, obviously that whole strategy is much talked about as well. And I don't just throw it on off everybody else. It's fascinating to me. So we talk about it quite a bit is, kind of recruiting nationally with the 12 spots that they've given out so far in the scholarships this year. And Pittman kind of lands that different discussion of being a national recruit that happens to live in Omaha, happens to live in Nebraska, right? So, it's always been long talked about as Nebraska is when the 500-mile radius in recruiting locked down the state borders, and they've transitioned away from that, at least temporarily, with the idea of not bringing in as many freshmen. Of course, with the transfer portal and everything that kind of goes along with that, NIL, everything there. And so it's for some fans, it can be frustrating. You'd rather, a lot of people say, well, if it's a tie, go with, the Omaha kid, go with the Nebraska kid, because maybe they'll give it a little bit more in the locker room. And Nebraska does have one commitment out of the state of Nebraska for this upcoming season. But, for those high-end types, I mean, there's been some really good players, Xavier Watts, of course, being kind of the biggest example as of late, that have really made their mark on college football at other programs. So you hate to see those guys leave the state. And so Pittman's a big one. The other thing is, and it kind of brings some intrigue and some interest on the other side, which I don't want to talk about it too much because it's kind of a negative thought before the season starts. But, we've seen coaches here before with big time recruits coming in, and then that season gets derailed. And then, you kind of make that move. Talking about it specifically, Bookie Riley-Hiles in that class and Mike Riley. So I don't know if these signings would really help with any job status or anything like that, because stuff can change. And if you're thinking at the AD level of future guys coming in, 1, you don't know if they're going to live up to the hype to begin with. 2, you don't know if they're actually going to sign, regardless of if you keep a coach at a struggling program. So I don't think it necessarily factors into that sort of stuff. But obviously the reverse of that, right, my negative thought of maybe not doing too well, is if Nebraska does do well, does exceed expectations, does take that next step forward, you already got to jump on kind of, okay, these guys already believed and there's reason to believe. And then I think you would get obviously more recruits of their caliber, a little bit more interesting.
Yeah. Also from the 2027 class, Bock, Juju Johnson, 4-star cornerback. He's the number one. He's number 1 in California, number 3 cornerback in the nation, 24th overall, Bock. He has Nebraska in his top 3 with Texas and UCLA. vying for his services, Bach. That would be a good jump for 27 if they can get their kid also right there.
Yeah, there's some big ones out there. Again, Nebraska and their coach, really got to give them credit. They've been in a lot of these chases, and obviously landing Dylan Raiola was kind of been the crown jewel so far. But you want to be able to compete for some of those other guys. Obviously, you think about Nate Frazier, that's starting running back at Georgia. You think about a Ryan Wingo, that's a starting off or wide receiver now at Texas. Now the name escapes me, but the Brandon, I can't remember the left tackle that's starting at Texas too. It's great to be in those conversations. It's great to be in their finals, but close only counts in hand grenades and grenades, right? And horseshoes. So and I think you say that opposite. I messed that up. Horseshoes and hand grenades. But so it is something, but it's also something to consider moving forward, because I think that was more the case though in previous years. Now with the transfer portal, it's still good to kind of keep that connection if you are among the top favorites. Of course, we saw that this last year in Williams-Winery. So you might not win every battle right up front. And again, more winning on the field, I think, would convince more guys to take that opportunity. But it's been nice to see Nebraska, quite frankly, in decision making of some of these 5 stars, high end 4 stars, in conversations. They don't, they kind of stand out. It's like one of these is not like the others when you're competing with Texas and Georgia and some of those teams that have had more success recently.
Yeah. All right, Bach. Now, this is one of the good stories I heard. Cam Jurgensen and Jalen Carter got into a tussle at practice, Bach. It was a good tussle. Not very, didn't last long, but, there's 2 big guys going against each other, and Cam Jurgensen said he likes to poke the bear sometimes when he talk about Jalen Carter, who's one of the most fierce guys in the league now since, Dominic Sue gone, Aaron Donald's gone. So, the good back and forth time. This is part of the year, Bach, when first teamers are tired of going against each other, and now it's time for some real football.
Yeah, I saw it was day 16 of camp. So they're kind of, like you said, kind of tired of going at each other. Looked like this was pretty short-lived at least. We've seen, a couple camp battles, I suppose, or fights. Mike Vrabel's had to break up a few of them himself as the head coach. So it's been kind of interesting to kind of see. And now we're starting to see some like starters named. So we're kind of getting to that point in camp.
Yeah.
Obviously through preseason. If you missed it, Daniel Jones was named the starter here today over at the Colts. Over Anthony Richardson. So that's kind of a big story as far as Daniel Jones is on a 1-year contract coming in and taking that job. Of course, Richardson's supposed to be the future for the Colts. Well,
no rush.
Well,
he's 23. He's still young.
He's got I think 1 more year, and then they're going to have to make a decision on his rookie contract.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Bob. You got guys 28 in college. You got a 23-year-old kid who's been in the league, 2 years? 3 years?
And he was always a developmental guy.
Yeah, I mean, they knew from the get-go that this wasn't an overnight thing right here. This is probably going to take this kid 3 to 4 years just to get comfortable in the NFL.
I'm just not sure if it was a great choice. I was talking with Adam earlier about it. I think it's interesting, that quarterback position and all the physical talent he has. Again, we've talked about this with guys on Nebraska's roster where the physical talent's there. It's can he kind of put it all together and become a complete football player. I don't know why teams reach in the first round for if it's going to be a 3 or 4 year plan. I think that's should be reserved for the second and third round to kind of take a guy with high potential that's maybe not quite there. But that's not the world we live in now. The NFL draft is if you think you've got a quarterbacks, as we know, teams reach on them just to make sure you got one. Of course, if you do, you end up with one of the better 15 quarterbacks in the league. You keep them for 10 years as long as you can. Because they're hard to come by and hard to get, such a important asset in the company. But of course, you never know. The Colts will see this year if Daniel Jones has a breakout year, be able to do something maybe more with this offense than he was with the Giants. Then maybe he turns into their future. Of course, he was a kind of similar situation, drafted for maybe his potential, could always use his legs. Things didn't finish out well, kind of struggled there at the end of his tenure with the Giants. So if he can kind of revitalize that, he's not a whole lot older.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, he just had a terrible time at the Giants, and sometimes you need to go to another team to make your career better. I mean, we seen that for a lot of players. But, let's go to break, Bock, and we'll still talk some football when we come back here on Bock the Blackshirt now at 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Play ball! Pitch the perfect idea for a family outing or date night with tickets to the next Salt Dogs game. Nothing says summer fun like an action-packed evening at Haymarket Park. Come root for the home team with a hot dog and a cold drink. Plus, visit saltdogs.com to learn about special events and promotions, including group discounts. Don't miss out on the thrill and excitement of a Salt Dogs win. Visit saltdogs.com to reserve your tickets today.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and digital insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at gainatrucking.com.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
When you're outdoors beneath Nebraska skies, adventure comes in all sizes. From quick escapes and long weekends to true off-the-grid retreats. Paddle, hike, camp, explore. Whether you have a few hours or a few days, we'll guide you to a state park or recreation area that's a perfect fit. Start your next adventure today at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Old School with Foreman and Orman.
Any tips for a dad who just volunteered to be a YMCA flag football coach less than a week before the season started because no one else had volunteered to coach the fifth graders up to that point?
Tylenol for your headache.
Put some in your cup. Put some in your cup, and make sure your contract is 1 year only.
Medicate, bro.
Frank Reich. Frank Reich at Stanford.
Yep.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Bock the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley. Defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror. Number 43.
And Jake Bockoven. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
Welcome back to Bock the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We are on Monday through Friday from your 1 to 3 hour. Jake Bockoven and the Blackshirt. Bock, how's your day going so far, sir?
Oh, not too bad. Of course, it's always a good time sitting in here talking some football and some other sports with you. I don't know if we've been able to talk yet. I did want to throw something your way as we kind of start this hour, is that I've talked a lot about it with Adam Carricker. What would your thoughts be on an expanded college football playoff? The Big Ten has thrown out an idea of maybe a playoff that includes 24 or 28 teams. Remember, right now we're working on the 12-team model again this year, and then we'll go to 14 for the foreseeable future. At least that's the plan as of now, but who knows? I mean, before they could come to an agreement before that 14 model ever takes off to include 16 or now as many as 24 or 28 teams. Certainly changes the regular season, and maybe just kind of your thoughts as a whole on how college football is constructed, from conference play to non-conference play to championship games to play-in games, all that sort of stuff. Would you like a big giant 24 or 28 team playoff?
24 sounds pretty good. I mean, you say 24, but you give the number one team in the nation a bye. That's what they earn if they go, play the regular season well. When you got 24 teams probably hold back into the playoffs and try to make a run there. But I'm kind of fond of a 24 team playoff. Makes college football a little bit better and at the end of it. Not necessarily beginning at the beginning of it, because now we see teams like Indiana's doing what SEC teams doing with scheduler wise. But I think it's a good idea. Not sure it will work in this day and age in college football, with still trying to figure out the 12 teams, probably supposed to go to 14 teams, 16 teams. But I think we need to stick with one number and stop trying to expand it every year so that you can get your team in there or get 7 big teams, 10s in there, 7 SEC teams in there. I think you just put the best 24 teams or the best 12 teams in there, regardless of what conference you're in. I think you pick the best 12, and that's what we haven't been able to do in college football over the years, is get everything right with the playoff system.
Yeah, it's all fascinating just to kind of break it down, because again, if you get to that level, you have to kind of throw out what you think of college football and kind of what it is. And what it is historically. I mean, for goodness sakes, we have a top 25 so ingrained to college football culture and history. And if you had a 28-team playoffs, you'd have teams in the others receiving votes category being able to play for the championship. So again, it kind of changes what the idea would be for what you want to do in college football. I think it would change the regular season. Obviously, the bigger the playoff gets, the more losses are afforded. You don't know. Obviously, even now, with the 12-team playoff, it's not like it was a few short years ago, even with the 4-team, where, one loss could damn you, and 2 losses certainly, for the most part, would, especially pre the 4-team playoff. So it's an interesting time. I think the 12-team playoff, they kind of did the trial run, didn't maybe work out quite how they wanted to with seeding and some of their ideas about conference champions. And so maybe that was a little bit messy this last year, but playoff games on campus, I think, was a lot of fun. Obviously, a bigger field would be more campus games, and so it's not all bad. It's just I don't want to say all bad. It depends on how you like it. Some people would love it. I personally kind of like the importance of the regular season, which has been diminishing for years, as the more teams they add to these championship playoffs and all that. So it's, again, not necessarily what I would do or what I like, but part of living here and being a fan of these sort of things, I mean, is adjusting to this sort of stuff. You kind of go back to the rules of football are different than they were years ago when you played. You can't kind of hit the same way. Of course, a lot of more thoughts about player safety and all that. You go from baseball, I was talking with Austin the other day, now the DH and the pitching clock, and DH, I should say, league-wide has adjusted their game. Of course, the NBA or in basketball, it's been a long time since there's been a huge change. But of course, at one time, they added the 3-point line, and that completely took over what the game would be. At this point, it took a couple decades to kind of get there. But obviously, with Klay Thompson and Steph Curry exploiting that could be used to help win a championship, kind of took off from there. So it's always going to be change. And so that's what. But my question is kind of similar to what yours kind of gets to, is eventually, like we're seeing with college basketball, they're still trying to expand the field. And I think here in about 10 to 15 years, I don't know, it could be 128 teams maybe in the college basketball the tournament. And at some point, is there a too big? I know you don't seem to be by this big tournament that could be a lot of fun. Is there too big? If not 28, would 32, or is there a spot that you would say this is just too much?
In college football?
In college football?
32 is too many. The best scenario is probably 16 teams. I mean, half of the top 25, that's vying for, 16 teams. That hopefully gets Nebraska and make you want to play harder just to be that 16 teams that fight for it every way. You have to throw a lot into it when you say strength of schedule, scheduling wise. Just it's a lot of things because you got two bickering conferences whose goes at it in the SEC and the Big Ten, and really, it's you're not even worried about the other conferences because you're giving them little stuff, not the big stuff that you accept. So it's not even in college football for any conference besides the SEC and the Big Ten because this is for them.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting to see these conferences kind of with their standings. I think the SEC is not really worried about what any model you do because a lot of their teams, as long as it's going to be decided by eye test and even the numbers when you put them in now, because these teams are rated so high going into the season. But it shouldn't just be this obvious. And I've had to fight. It's kind of been known as the SEC supporter around this station for a while now. Just because I would have to kind of fight the natural Midwest urge to discount them. I think it's been the best conference for a lot of time, but it's not a sure thing. And I don't think it has been, completely the last couple of years. Obviously, the national champion coming from the Big Ten. So, it's interesting how the SEC doesn't necessarily have to fight for as many automatic spots that the Big Ten does, because the Big Ten feels like it, and naturally it does. Some of the teams that may be good in the Big Ten on a certain year, you kind of think about the style of play that Iowa or Minnesota might have if they reach the top. It would still be a lot of defensive, maybe what would be deemed as ugly football. That, as we saw in the bowl season this past year, which I don't know how much you want to take away from bowl season in this year, these days in college football, but at least, for a small sample size is, maybe that ugly style of football sometimes can catch up to, the speed and prettiness of the big time offenses that are sometimes thrown out there. So it's always interesting, when you have this big, and that's really what this is, it would be simple just to kind of put together a small enough playoff. I think that would be deserving, but of course, the more money that's out there for a bigger playoff, we've seen again leagues expand their playoffs over the years to add up to that and get more money. And so it's fascinating to look at it from both sides, because I was in with Jeff Essig of Fitness Fanatics, brought something up the other day when I was with him on Sunday, was how silly would it be if you went through an NFL season and the Cardinals and Bears play in a bowl game at the end because they didn't make the playoffs. So from that side of it, it's silly. But then you kind of think about the other side of it from the college, flipping college football, and the other side is, how silly would it be if we were trying to come up with a playoff, but we had to structure the NFL in much the way that the college football is structured. So the NFC East is going to have 8 teams, and the NFC South is going to have 4 teams, and then you're going to get 3 bids out of the NFC East, so that's silly. It kind of all goes back to, and we talk about what a mess college football is sometimes, and it's not all just NIL, it's a lot of it's NIL and transfer portal driven, but a lot of it too is just like the basic structure of conference realignment and sure, it's pure and obvious, kind of conference tiers, if you will, or systems where obviously the SEC and the Big Ten have the most power. Can be difficult to find a perfect playoff system that everybody is happy with. So we'll see what happens eventually. I'll just say, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a temporary fix to go from 12 to 14. Wouldn't be surprised that there's always going to be people knocking on the door, because it wasn't just the Big Ten. I'm bringing up the different SEC coaches that's kind of brought up a bigger playoff as well.
Yeah, I hope they get it fixed, Bock. I'm just so sick of this playoff talk. I'm just ready for college football. We'll lead the playoffs talk to the big guys, and we'll just watch college football coming up this Saturday. Bach.
That's right, week 0.
Are you gonna be up early in the morning watching game day, Bach, or they're having game day from there?
I think they will. I'm not sure because obviously we know Lee Corso is going to have his send off there in week 1. So if they do, I don't think he would be a part of it. But I think they typically at least have something. I don't know if they're going to travel to Ireland for game day, but yeah, I mean it's an exciting time of the year, week 0. There's a few games I think that are of intrigue. Of course, Kansas State and Iowa State, the Farmageddon matchup from Ireland of 2 top 25 teams, the 2 favorites in the Big 12. Is going to get a majority of the interest, but I'm specifically interested in Kansas taking on Fresno State because there's some interest there as well. Kansas opening up their stadium after playing last year in Kansas City. A lot of their home games reopening their stadium, and of course they've got if you're kind of following along between the last couple of weeks, they're going to have even more donations to kind of pretty that stadium up. But it's going to be the debut of that against Fresno State. And Kurt Warner's son, who is the starting quarterback there at Fresno State. So there's a few games I think that'll be interesting in week 0 as we just wait and count down the days to Nebraska. But as far as like you're saying, college football being back, it starts this Saturday, and how great of a feeling that is. One other question I want to get for you here was a lot of people were kind of thinking too with the Michigan punishment coming down. That was another discussion. A lot of people just kind of tired of talking about, just kind of want to see what happens. But some people were wondering why the NCAA did not vacate any Michigan wins. NCAA committee members said that it is twofold. There was no ineligible athlete competing. So that's usually when you're going to vacate wins more often than not, if there isn't somebody that's ineligible. And then the other reason they said is the NCAA took very quick action in alerting the Big Ten to the investigation, which resulted in Jim Harbaugh's in-season suspension. So Jim Harbaugh serving that suspension was kind of a big part of that too. Do you buy that, or would you like? I mean, I always think vacated wins are kind of silly to begin with because they happened on the field. We all remember. I mean, you can take them away from the history books, but they're still there. Would you have liked to see vacated wins be a part of the Michigan punishment?
No, I really don't care about the punishment, Bob. I'm just glad it's over with. They're cheaters. We know this. I think they'll be very careful how they operate on the field. We get first shot at them this year in our hometown, in our backyard to give them that first Big Ten loss. So I'm looking forward to that game and see how well we match up against this Michigan team.
Yeah, it's going to be a big game for Nebraska. As obviously, I mean, can really put Nebraska on the map. The Cincinnati win is big, or I shouldn't say win. Cincinnati game is obviously big to set the tone, and it kind of gets its own spotlight there on a Thursday night, which I love for Nebraska. Hasn't worked out with these week 0 games over the past, but I love that Nebraska is continuing to find a spot among the openers and kind of highlighting their game going into week 0 or week 1, right, of the last several years. So I thought that's been fantastic. And then again, I think Cincinnati could be a tone setter. Obviously, you lose that game. There's kind of a different thought to what the season might be, or at least the timeline for when it might get there. But that Michigan game could really put Nebraska on the map. And that's what I always kind of say. There are certain games that even the Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota games, and of course, Wisconsin's not on the schedule this year, but those games I think are a lot regionally. They're big in Big Ten circles. They're certainly big here in Nebraska. But if you want to make national implications, you want to get like, that kind of the college game day crowd, like you were saying earlier, talk about, the Michigan game and the Penn State game are going to be the most important on the schedule this year for Nebraska.
Buck, I was looking at your boy, Joe Klatt. He's a Nebraska lover.
He is.
He came out with his pre-playoff picks for this year. Guess what? Nebraska wasn't in it, Buck.
They weren't.
There wasn't. There wasn't.
That surprises me.
Yeah, it surprises me too. He left us out on his. I don't want to go in detail on it, but here's the thing: what I'm seeing a lot, Bob. I'm seeing a lot of people on Twitter, Facebook, X. They talk about Nebraska. If we have a playoff game, let's just play the season. Let's not drink the Kool-Aid. I mean, I'm a Kool-Aid drinker, but got to put sugar in it for me, Bach, and we're not even to that part where the Kool-Aid has sugar in it. But I'm just hoping Nebraska plays this season. Don't get overconfident and think that you're going to win the game just by running out on the field. So I'm hoping that the offense is going to be really good this year. Not saying that the defense is not, but defense has to catch on more quicker than the offense. In-game strategy is a lot different when you play teams like Cincinnati, which I got a clip of. Do you have that clip, Bob?
Yeah, we do.
Let's hear that clip, Bob.
All right, one second. Let me run it down here because I do have it in here. There it is. This is Cincinnati coach Scott Satterfield. Little practice update for the Cincinnati Bearcats.
I mean, I thought today was sloppy. Wasn't pleased with the day. Guys making mistakes and some pre-snap penalties and some just sloppy play. I mean, just overall. So I'm not pleased with that. We're going to get back in here this afternoon. And we're going to meet. We're going to watch it. Guys going to get a couple of days off, and then we got to get back at it Monday. But yeah, we got a lot of work to do. Certainly glad we're not playing this week. We've got next week to get ready, and then of course game week's end of next week. So a lot of work we got to do.
All right, Bob. That's an update on Cincinnati head coach talking about his team. Could have been talking for the camera, Bob. He could have.
Yeah.
How this world is everything, and everything's on Twitter, Bob. I mean, you can find anything on Twitter you want to, if it's talked about more.
Yeah, it's interesting. And obviously you can kind of do, messaging through the media as well if you're the coach, maybe re-emphasizing the frustrations from practice. So, it just depends on how you want to look at it. But I mean, he did say they're thankful that they're not ready, implied at least that they're not ready for it to be game week. So it sounds like they've got, some work to do. I'm sure once we kind of get into game week, then you kind of say, we're going to put our best foot forward, because otherwise, I mean, what have you done as the coach, right, in camp, trying to get them there? Your number one job is to get them ready for game one. And so that's kind of interesting. Obviously, a little bit of a different take than what we've heard from Nebraska coaches, which, I'm not going to put words in their mouth as far as saying, game one ready, because they really haven't focused a whole lot on Cincinnati. There was a question for Matt Rule regarding Cincinnati, and he kind of rattled off, we've watched some tape, throughout the summer and kind of get prepared for them like they do every opponent, but they're not so focused in on Cincinnati that you kind of overload that, right? But, you want them to get used to game week and what that's going to look like. So we'll see. They're going to certainly start diving into that with the game week starting basically, here in a couple of days, because it'll be less than 7 days. We mentioned it at the top, only 9 days till you get to Husker football. So the fact that they're playing on Thursday, I would assume they kind of get into Cincinnati specific things later on this week, but we will see. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting.
Well, I think you have to get to Cincinnati at least by this weekend. I mean, say you can say Friday, because now you probably want to give them Thursday off and have them practice Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But have your walkthrough Tuesday, Wednesday you travel. Or Thursday, I don't know how they would do that. I don't know if he would let them he probably would let them want to have a good night's sleep in Kansas City. But you're probably going to want to give them time. I mean, we still have a long way to go when we talk about this Nebraska football. We got to figure out what's our depth chart, because we don't even know that. I mean, I think the coaches know it. I mean, I think we're anxious to see it, to break it down and have it for the viewers and the listeners to kind of see where Nebraska football is at. I mean, you can go into a game without studying an opponent, Bob. You can almost say you're not going to win that game. I mean, you have to get into this Cincinnati team, even if you have to look at the last 4 games of the season just to see what kind of concept they have. Do they have the same offensive coordinator? Do they have the same defensive coordinator? Do they have the same quarterback? I mean, there's a lot of things you have to break down. You have to break down the linemen, the plays, the down and distance. So hopefully this is the couple of last day of I think fall camp is over with for us. This is regular season status right here, but you have to take a good approach and try to figure things out, what's best for this team, and figure out the 2 deep lineup.
Yeah, and that's going to be interesting usually. And again, this is a normal Saturday game. They come out with the Monday press conference. Is that when you'll see the depth chart? And of course, over the years, especially the first depth chart is the most interesting to see where, a lot of the predictions had it right, where they had it wrong. But I'm always interested in that 2-letter word, or on the depth chart, because you have your kind of co-starters at certain places.
I don't like that or.
Yeah, I don't like.
We've seen that a lot. We've seen that a lot. That kind of bugs me to death.
Well, I think it's especially popular in week 1, though, because then you're not completely giving your hand away to who's going to be the starter and who to necessarily prepare for a little bit more going into the game. But we'll see. I mean, I think there's a few spots. I mean, we've seen that especially at running back. I think certainly once you get after the number one, Emmett Johnson, I'd almost be surprised if I didn't see an Orr, on the running back depth chart. After that, I think tackle. I mean, they got to figure this out. They're talking about, kind of putting their best foot forward with their two best tackles. But we'll see. Maybe that could be a spot where you see an Orr, maybe that third wide receiver. Of course, you get to the, the other side of the ball, and maybe you can see that on the defensive line or at linebacker and defensive back. Heck, maybe we see that at kicker. Maybe the kicker battle goes into game one. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of it either because it doesn't give us as much clarity, but it does let you know, where, and they're going to do a lot of rotation, one way or the other. And they talked about how the depth is going to be important. That was kind of the big takeaway from Matt Rule's press conference on Saturday, was that he was pretty impressed with the number ones and kind of how things were going. But he said this season is going to rely heavily and depend on the twos and threes. He wants to play, them to play up to the fact that they could be basically number ones, played to that level. And, penalties, stuff like that kind of got in the way for the scrimmage in the practices here, at least on Saturday. So we'll see. But I do expect some more on the depth chart. I'm sorry, Terrell. I know you say you don't like it. I don't like it either, but
yeah,
it is what
bring out the depth chart. Let's see the thing. Let's see what we got. Let's see if we can break it down, Bock. We need it bad. Matt Rule, drop it. Keith Mann, drop it. So we'll have to see. All right, Bock, let's go to break. And when we come back, more back at Bock in the Black Shirt here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone and Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln with more exciting news for area car buyers.
Charlie, it's just announced that Honda of Lincoln has won 3 of the Lincoln Journal-Star's Lincoln Choice Awards: Best New Car Dealer, Best Auto Repair, and Best Place to Get Your Oil Changed.
Wow, that's great, Andy. Anything else?
Yes, we were runner-up for Best Pre-Owned Dealer and Best Tire Dealer. A lot of people don't understand that we do sell tires here.
Very exciting, Andy. Why do you think your dealership is winning so many awards?
Charlie, we simply say it's the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business.
Looks like Honda of Lincoln is the great news headquarters for Lincoln.
Yes, and even all of Nebraska, we are also announcing that Honda of Lincoln's the only dealer in the state of Nebraska to win the prestigious Honda President's Award for 2024.
Honda of Lincoln, Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. Visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT, from cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska Insider today.
Link to Literacy's third annual Wordstock event will be at Antelope Park on Saturday, August 23rd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's a community book swap festival with fun for the entire family and for all ages. Enjoy food trucks, kids' activities, a reading corner with celebrity narrators, including Brian Helton, President and CEO, Director of Parks and Recreation, UNL athletes, and more. And of course, free books for all kids and adults. Go to linktoliteracy.org to get the full story and then make your plans to attend Wordstock.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball. Old School with Foreman and Orman.
Any tips for a dad who just volunteered to be a YMCA flag football coach less than a week before the season started because no one else had volunteered to coach the 5th graders up to that point?
Tylenol for your headache.
Put some in your cup. Put some in your cup, and make sure your contract is 1 year only.
Medicate, bro.
Frank Reich. Frank Reich at Stanford.
Yep.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt on air and online at theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to Bock and the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We are powered
by
Bauer
Infrastructure,
Bauer
Underground,
Barrett
Excavating.
All right, less than 9 days to Husker football, 4 days to college football kicks off in week 0. What we are happy about now, Bock, this is like the best a man has ever felt in the month of August, September, October, November, December, January, February, then the cycle starts all over again, Bach.
That's right, it does.
All right, Bach, what you got for us?
I got some interesting stories out of the sports world. Kind of interesting as we kind of get to some of the starters being named across college football. Again, go into some starters here. Notre Dame has named CJ Carr, redshirt freshman, as their starting quarterback. What makes this one interesting? He's the grandson of Lloyd Carr, of course, national championship winning coach at Michigan. So, of course, a rivalry there. But now we see CJ Carr get the starting nod at Notre Dame. Another starter that was named recently, BYU is naming Bear Bachmeier as the starting quarterback. This will be particularly interesting. He's the first true freshman in school history to start an opener for BYU. Remember, the Cougars are expected to be one of the favorites in the Big 12 this year, but they lost their starting quarterback right before, just within the last couple of months. What also makes this interesting, I know you don't like this, Bear Bachmeier will wear number 47.
Oh, my God.
As the starting quarterback there for BYU. Of course, like I said, Jake Retzlaff transferred to Tulane, was expected to start for the team, but was going to have a big suspension here for violating the school's honor code. Bachmeier will also be throwing, Bear Bachmeier that is, will be throwing to his brother Tiger Bachmeier. So from Bear to Tiger, Tiger is a junior wide receiver who transferred to BYU from Stanford. If the Bachmeier name sounds familiar as well, his brother Hank played for Boise State, and then I think even against Nebraska at Louisiana Tech just a few years ago before finishing up his career at Wake Forest.
Wolf and Bear.
No,
so don't
Bear,
tell me Bear and Wolf.
Bear and Tiger. There's no
Bear
wolf.
and Tiger.
Yeah,
they probably
no
got a little brother named Wolf.
There might be a wolf eventually.
Yeah. Oh, that's then you have one brother named Hank out of all that.
That's right.
You go Hank, Bear, and Tiger.
So I think it went Hank, Tiger, and Bear because Tiger's a little bit earlier.
Hank, Tiger, Bear. That's that.
I think Hank feels left out.
Yeah, he should have been Wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of the things we could talk about. All right, Bach, what else you got?
Well, and then again, I know you didn't like the number 47.
Now, the 47 is ridiculous, especially at quarterback when you have guys that I think Denard Robinson from Michigan.
So it's Devin Gardner that wore 98 right after Robinson.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. He did. He wore 98. That was crazy right there now.
It just doesn't look right.
No, it doesn't. Devin Brown from Ohio State, who transferred to, what was that, Cal?
I think he's at Cal, yeah.
Yeah, he lost the starting. Well, he didn't get it. I mean, obviously got beat out.
Yeah.
By what? True freshman? Was that a true freshman?
I think it is a true freshman.
True freshman from Cal, who's from Hawaii.
Yeah, I would try to say the name, but it's a particularly tough one. So I'm going to let the national guys screw that up before I do. But that's some fun news coming out of college football. One other note that I wanted to bring up: Oklahoma is offering a chance for fans to attend post-game news conferences. So the press conferences right after the game, but it won't be cheap. It's one of the Sooner Magic Memories offerings the program has created to give fans greater access this season. The cost for two people to sit in on the media session after the Oklahoma-Michigan game, for example, is priced out right now at $692. For the SEC home opener against Auburn, it's $576. They've got other offerings that include pregame photos on the 50-yard line, a high five during the tunnel walk, and game ball delivery, halftime field access. And I believe you even said maybe even riding the Sooner Schooner. So there's some interesting ways, of course, in the NIL era to kind of get some folks in there. Now, I've been to many a post-game press conference over the years. I knew, and it was cool. Obviously, going to school, that's one of the things you look forward to in broadcasting school. But I did not know that I was sitting in on something that was worth, $350.
Yeah. Well, I think the way Nebraska can really do, I'm going to throw this out on a limb right here, Bach, because this is going to be, somebody's going to copy this. I guarantee you. Now, $10,000, Bach, will get you access into the locker room before the game.
Okay.
No, not even that access, but you pay $10,000, Bach, and you give the team the Husker prayer. What do you think about that, Bach?
Yeah.
Hey, look, Bach.
$10,000. That's a big one.
You come in the locker room, say the Husker prayer with them, and then you leave. That's it. $10,000. Somebody would do it, Bach.
You're probably not wrong. But that does seem to be highly priced. I don't know how much the team would like that. You almost got to like.
Well, it's
these
NIL.
guys.
I mean, it's helping the team out. I mean, good God. I mean, what else do you want? You want somebody to run around? Are you gonna now? Here's the spooky part, because I think when you said they wanted to ride in the chair, I mean in the Boomer Sooner before the game, I thought it was like right before the like when they come out and do it with the team. Do you get fans to ride in that? That's money wise, but you have to sign a clause because. You
that
remember,
thing tips over sometimes.
Yeah, that thing tipped over quite a few times
Yeah.
when we seen it. But at the same time, you offer fans a chance to give I mean, maybe you could do it for $50,000. Somebody would pay $50,000.
Somebody probably
would go in there and say the Husker prayer, lead them in the Husker prayer, and then walk straight out. Then they can have their own little captains go after that. It's just a Husker prayer. So many traditions been broke around here, Bock, that I don't think it would hurt.
I don't think it would necessarily hurt either. Maybe we'll see Nebraska jump on board and eventually get into some of this stuff. I thought that was particularly interesting. A post-game press conference that is costing more than the tickets to the seats. But I suppose that's fair too. I mean, tickets to the game is you got 100,000 or 80,000, whatever it might be, people that can get in on the game, and obviously you don't have that much seating at the post-game press conference. So. If you're a Sooner, I think you would hope too that you're coming off a win. I think that would be a little bit more exciting than coming off a loss to Michigan.
I got a good question, Bock, on YouTube.
Okay.
Bada Bing said, Farley, as a former player, when would you want to send the team down to Kansas City? Would you want the guys to take the bus or jet? I think bus. I think bus because it's not far, saves you money.
Yeah.
And it's a tradition. I mean, we drove to KU. We drove to Kansas State. I mean, one of those, I think it was Kansas State. It's quicker. I think it was 3 hours. But, Kansas City is only 2.5 hours away. I mean, you give the guys a chance to get their thoughts together, first game of the season. I just think they should take the bus, man. It's a great feeling. That way you feel like a college football player. I mean, sometimes that's a quick flight, Bob. That's like 30 minutes.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I could see that. Do you think the bus helps out a little bit more with team chemistry, that sort of thing?
I think so. Your defensive guys get up on one bus. Your offensive guys get on one bus. Defensive guys on another bus. Offensive guys, and coaches they do their thing. I mean, so much is forgotten about the old ways of football when we talk about it. I mean, football is that sport that you can't change it. Just like you see all these people that want to change the blue bloods. You can't change history. You can't.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not Quantum Leap, Bob. You can't go back into time and try to tell somebody what's going to happen different. There's not going to be a difference. So, these kids this is only going to be a lifetime experience for 4 or 5 years, Bob. And then they'll move on to the real life. But, I was listening to a guy on one of these platforms, and he was telling me, I think it was the coach from some college, but he was saying these kids will never understand the ways of college football, having that friend that you had for 4 years and then y'all still friends for 30 years, because some of these guys are only a 1 year rental. Some of these guys are only going to be at your school for 1 year because they're going to transfer. They're not going to like the situation. That's just the way we gave them the opportunity to do. And they would never, ever, I take nothing back from when I played, because I would never want to change anything. Having these friends for life, having these guys that's still in your life over 30 years ago. I mean, how many of these kids are going to be able to say that when they're changing teammates every year? You're never going to get that real chemistry of football like you want it, because it changes every year.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you too, about thinking about the bus is maybe through your experiences, maybe that kind of helped the team bonding. But now, I wonder if they wouldn't have their AirPods in the entire time and heads in their phone, and maybe they're not really doing a whole lot of team bonding on the way over from the bus. But, as much as we like to think things have changed or stayed the same, I mean, how much of that when you guys were on the bus was everybody had their Walkmans in? I mean, was there legitimate a lot of conversation or how was it back in your time on the bus?
I mean, people have their conversation.
Yeah.
We do the same thing we did on like in the air. I mean, you're flying. It's only a 2-hour trip. Sometimes the flights are 2 hours. So everybody listens to their Walkman. It's not much talking. I mean, it's all business. And I think some people get into their groove best by just laying back and closing their eyes and having situations where they think about the game and how the game is going to be played and how you're going to do this or some guys think differently. But for me, I'm thinking about the game the whole day. I sleep, think about the game. I wake up, I'm thinking about the game. And right before kickoff, I'm thinking about the game. So, I hope they get a chance to experience these college lives, these college adventures that the old guys did when we played. Not saying, bad enough they get paid, but, that's a whole nother story. 93.7 The Ticket, Bock The Blackshirt. We'll be right back after these messages.
Feeling off lately? Struggling with your mental well-being can make everyday life harder, and it can also increase the risk of substance use. Early support can make a big difference. Visit myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com and take the free mental health check-in assessment. In just a few minutes, you'll get non-judgmental feedback, local resources, and next steps to help you feel more in control and supported. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant.
Rick Heyman here from Starter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. Visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at StarterHeyman.com.
Starter Heyman Jewelers.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska Insider today.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, patchy fog possible this morning. Otherwise, we'll see mainly sunny skies and light winds. High near 91. Tonight, mainly clear skies with a low around 70. And tomorrow, patchy fog again in the morning. A slight chance of rain in the afternoon. Otherwise, mainly sunny skies with a high near 89. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs has been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
Need a tractor that works as hard as you do? Whether you're baling hay or feeding cattle, a John Deere 6M or 6R from Landmark Implement is built to handle it all. And right now, you can get 0% fixed rate financing for up to 72 months on new in-stock models. That's 6 years with zero interest on the tractor your operation depends on. Hurry into your local Landmark Implement or visit landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left at once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Bock and the Blackshirt here at 93.7 The Ticket. We are on from 1 to 3 every day, and we are about to the end of this hour for Bock and the Blackshirt. Stay tuned for Jay Foreman, Austin, and DP at whoa. I forgot.
Oh, yeah.
Not happy hour. That's
Old
school.
Yeah.
Old Jay Foreman. I got to ask Jay Foreman, which Jay Foreman, because Jay wore two numbers.
That's right.
56 and 44. If I told him he could only pick one, which one would you think he picks, Bob?
I don't know. I was envisioning him in 56. Isn't that what he finished with?
No, 44.
Oh, so he finished
56 was his first 2 years, I think.
Okay.
Then I think he went to 44. I think he was more polished at 44 than he was at 56. Because when I met Jay Foreman, he was a redshirt freshman coming off his redshirt year. Was a starter. You know, you don't see that too much in college football back in those days, but he earned every bit of it. Yeah, I was just, curious about which one he would like better.
Well, of course, his dad, Chuck, wore 44.
Yeah, Chuck Foreman, 44 for the Minnesota Vikings. I think he wore that for the University of Miami also, but not sure.
I was going to say, too, I think Jay, once he went to the NFL, couldn't wear 44. I think he wore 55, 56 with the Texans, 55 with the Bills. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what his preference would be.
Yeah. Well, I got number 43 at the Packers, but, that didn't last long when I was there. So, I was able to get my number, though, but wasn't able to stay there long enough.
Yeah. Well, man, at least you got one. That's cooler than most people can say. You got a jersey number from the Packers. That's pretty cool.
All right, Bock, how excited are you, Bock? You're getting each day we go to sleep and wake up, we realize that we're a day faster to college football.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited. Again, this is one of my favorite weeks of the year. It's almost like the college football nerds have to specifically care about week 0 or know that it's coming. A lot of people might go over their head if their team's not in action. But again, a top 25 matchup to start in week 0 among 2 of the Big 12 favorites and 2 of the old Big 8, Big 12 rivals from Nebraska. So teams and programs that I keep a close eye on. It's going to be fantastic. And we can kind of get through. It's good. Preseason football, it's something. At least there's some hitting out there. High school footballs we saw with Dayton Raiola, kind of cool to kind of see different high schools and what they've got going on around the country. But nothing can replace my love for college football, and that is Husker football and all. I always say that there are some people like the Huskers, and the NFL is their favorite sport. But for me, it's always been Huskers and college football as a combination. And I hope the Huskers, I always say this, I hope the Huskers can get really good again someday so that I think there's more of an awareness and more of an interest in college football as a whole if the Huskers are winning, of course, at least here locally.
Yeah, man. Julian Sayans named the starting quarterback for Ohio State. Quentin Joyner, Texas Tech running back, tears his ACL, will miss the remainder of the year. It's a lot. I think this time of year you're through camp. Now you try to rest the guys and give them a chance to rest their bodies. But college football comes up right so quick that you don't really have a chance to take that break.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I did want to ask you this before we get out. It was Led Orgeron, Eddie O, let it be known that he is interested in returning to coaching again after a 4-year retirement. He says, I think it's time. I'm getting the itch again. If you're a program, would you be interested in Ed Orgeron? Of course, had some trouble there as he left LSU, so he kind of put all that stuff aside. But the other thing, the interesting part is, I had some success there, obviously at LSU with the national champion and maybe one of the best teams of all time in 2019. But then followed that up, as we know, Bo Pelini went back to be the defensive coordinator. That didn't last long. His final 2 years, they were 500, playing 500 ball in LSU, which obviously is well below the standard. Would you be interested if your favorite college football team had an opening in Ed Orgeron returning to college football?
No, I wouldn't say my favorite team, Bob, but he's deserving of another chance of college football, like every other coach is. Don't know whether he fits anywhere else besides the SEC. That's the question I'm going to say with that one. Probably if Mississippi State opened up, or a Vandy, or even a Kentucky. I mean, you probably
Auburn,
consider
perhaps,
Auburn.
yeah.
I mean, he's a great coach. Probably, if he does, we probably lose a guy like Bill
Bush.
Mickey Joseph. Would he be?
Get
would
the
he
band
be?
back together.
Get the band back together once again. You're talking about one of the greatest recruiters in college football, and Mickey Joseph, who also has his hands full when he travels to Ohio State, the second game of the season.
Yes, he will.
You got to think about that. Could that put Mickey want to go back to being an assistant coach? So, we say a lot when college football happens, but until game day when the final score ends up, then you see the true value of a coach.
Yeah, that one. He'd even come on these airwaves and stated, they're kind of there for the paycheck. That's going to be a tough uphill battle, but as we know in those games, if you can kind of stick around, kind of meander around within 14 points, the ball might bounce your way here and there, and maybe you can make a game out of it.
That's a lie. Yeah, we'll see, Buck. I'll be turning that game off by halftime, or probably the first quarter. You never know.
Those uniforms look good, though. Grambling State came out with their uniforms they showed off this year. I always liked their color scheme, so at least they'll look good doing it.
Florida came back with their alternate jerseys, and they're ugly. Just like I seen, if you haven't seen my post on Facebook, go check out the corn alternate jerseys.
Corn inspired, yeah.
Yeah, the corn version of Nebraska. A lot of people don't like it, but it was for all jokes. It's not trying to tell the school what to wear, because the fellas, they pick their own stuff. Just like I said earlier in the week, it don't matter what you wear when you play, long as you play the game to win. 93.7 The Ticket. Bock the Blackshirt. We'll see you Wednesday, tomorrow, here at Window World Wednesday with two-time national champion Todd Euler.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check